What's up, everybody? Today is October 8th, 2023, and boy, do I have a story for you today. A funny story. I think it's funny. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and sit down. I'm walking, but I'm going to go ahead and sit down because, oh man, I'm tired, and I think this story deserves sitting down. Oh man, I'm old, and it feels good to sit down. So, anyhow, we're on the bus today, and I sit wherever Nano wants to sit, wherever my son wants to sit. So today he wanted to go sit in the back of the bus. No one was really on the bus when we got on. So I'm like, okay, cool. So he goes all the way to the back of the bus, and I'm like, okay, so this is a calm little spot, comfortable, whatever. So we're sitting there, we go a couple of stops, and of course people eventually get on. And two younger black kids ended up sitting right in front of us. One of them's probably 13 years old. I would say the other one's about 14, 15. Let's just say 13 and 15 years old. These young black kids, right? And I could tell right away that they're wannabe thugs or whatever. They're sagging. They're on their phones and they're throwing gang signs on their phones to whoever's on the opposite side of the phone, right? So little wannabe thugs. And then the little 13-year-old, this is, a couple minutes into the ride, he takes a puff on some, I guess, the kids do the vape thing nowadays. All of a sudden, he just blows a puff of, like, vape smoke on the bus. And just FYI, you're not allowed to smoke on the bus, right? So, like I said, they're sagging the pants, throwing up gang signs. And now this little 13-year-old kid, sorry about the traffic noise in the background. This little 13-year-old kid, he's puffing on some, like I said, vape or something like that, right? So now, I'm not like super mad, I'm just like more annoyed. It's not the first time someone smoked on the bus, And so, so then I'm sitting there thinking, should I say something, should I not say something? Because I really don't care, I really don't, right? But of course my son's on the bus and, I don't like breathing this stuff in, right? But, it's 2023, you can't say nothing to nobody. When I was a kid, you go back to, say, the 80s or early 90s or whatever, if I did something like that, and some grown person saw me, they'd just smack me in the back of the head and be like, what are you doing? And the grown person, they wouldn't have gotten in trouble, they wouldn't have got arrested, I would have gotten in trouble. I would have probably, got my ass kicked when I got home too. What are you doing smoking on the bus? But again, it's 2023, and if I would have said something or I would have, pumped him in the back of the head, I'm the bad guy, because this is 2023, and that's the world. So I'm like, I don't even want to say anything. I really don't care. Whatever. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, as long as he doesn't do it again, I'm not going to say anything. I really don't care, right? And so, he doesn't, right? All right, now, while that's going on, they're there just doing their thing. They're, like I said, they're on their phone talking to whoever or whatever, both these little kids. And right next to them, there's this white chick. She's between the ages of, I would say 20 to 25. And she has a half-ass little suit on. Looks, I don't know, I guess she's going to work or whatever she's going to do. But she has like a little suit on. You can tell her hair's nice, and her hair is up like in a bun or whatever, a girl's card. It's up, right? And then all of a sudden, she lets her hair down, and then she like starts like swinging around like she thinks she's on some like Pantene Pro V commercial or something like that, like trying to look all cute, right? And it's, I'm behind all these people, just watching this whole thing go on. And I'm like, what is she doing? Who's she trying to impress or whatever, right? But yeah, she's got, she's swinging all her head all around and, just trying to be cute with her hair and stuff like that, right? Fluffing it up and stuff like that, right? Hold on just a second. So she does that. And then the boys that are sitting in front of me, they look over for a second. I don't know, to check her out, or just because she's just, because she's doing it so much. It's like you can't help but not see it. So the boys, they look over for like a second, not staring. They just like look over a second, then they look back to whatever they're doing. And apparently she thinks this is some opportunity for her to strike or whatever, because right away she looks over at the boy, sitting on the edge, the 15-year-old, and she's like, oh, those are nice pants. Did you do that design? To the 15-year-old boy, this 20-year-old white chick. And I'm like my jaw just drops. I'm just watching all this go down. I'm like, are you kidding me, right? And so it's funny because these boys go from wannabe thugs to creeped out little kids real quick. They're like, the boy was like, oh, no, like, he didn't. I don't know what design. I don't know what the hell she was talking about in his pants, because I can only see like the back of their heads and their hands. But apparently he had some design or something on his pants, and he was just like, oh no. And then they just, like I said, they were creeped out, and they just really like just kind of like looked down at their phones and obviously didn't want anything to do with that cougar whatsoever. And so I'm just sitting there thinking, I was like, God, please get me off this crazy bus. I just want to get off this bus and go about minding my own damn business. I got no time or patience. It's insanity on the city bus and here in the United States. I don't know how it is in other countries, but in the United States, it's always something. So I just couldn't believe. I went from being annoyed at the little kids smoking and these little kids trying to act like thugs, or like I said, throwing gang signs and doing all this kind of stuff. Going from that being, me being semi-annoyed to that, to me being like, man, I wish Chris Hansen was here or something to put this chick in check or something like that. Literally, I mean, she could have been, like I said, as high as like 25 years old. And this little boy, he was maybe 15. He could have been 14, maybe younger than that. She's like, oh, those are nice. But I mean, can you imagine, say me, and I'm 40 years old, but can you imagine me saying that to like a 16-year-old girl, be like, oh, that's a mighty fine skirt you got there, right? I mean, how creepy is that? So I was just like, wow. But, like I said, not to justify it or anything, but it's not surprised. Like I said, it is the city bus, and once you ride the city bus for long enough, you are just never surprised what you see on the city bus. I mean, I show you guys videos sometimes. You guys probably saw the video the other day where they found a syringe on the bus. They had a block off portion of the bus because someone, left a syringe behind, which is also not surprising because this is Washington State. You could throw a rock and hit a druggie around these parts. Okay. And then, you guys see my other videos where sometimes, there's talkers on the bus that they'll just start talking like to the bus driver, and they'll just keep going and going and going like the Energizer Bunny. They just won't stop. They'll just, keep talking. And then, of course, there's the people who just talk to themselves, rambling about nothing. That happened the other day. All of us were in the back of the bus, me, Nano, and Rebecca. And there's this other, like, older white lady there, and she was just going on, rambling to herself about God knows what, nothing. I thought she was talking to Becca at first, but she was talking to nobody. Just random, telling you the randomest things you see on the bus. Another guy, because apparently, at least here in Tri-Cities, or I don't know if it's Washington in general, but they allow pets on the bus. So people bring their dogs and cats and gerbils, I don't know what. People bring their pets on the bus. And so this other guy, he had like this backpack, but it looked like a little cat house on his back. It was a backpack, but it was like a little, like a pet, sleeping thing on his back. And I'm just like, you really, you never know what you're going to see on a city bus in the United States. I swear to you, people nodding out because they're on drugs, and, sometimes people bring weapons on the bus, and, kids tagging on the bus, and, you go to put your hand somewhere on the bus and there's a random piece of bubble gum on there. I mean, it's just, it's insane. I tell you what, I am surprised that there's not been a movie or a TV show about like a city bus. I mean, there was the movie Speed, where there was a bomb on the bus, but just in general, just about the crazy antics you see on a daily basis. It's every day is some crazy nonsense like today. Just another crazy day. Like I said, these little kids want to be thugs, and then apparently this chick thought that was attractive for some reason, and she decided to hit on him. They barely looked at her for a second. She was like doing that, maybe I'm born with it, maybe it's Maybelline thing. And they looked over at her, and she was like, oh, those are nice pants you got on, little boy. I was like, oh my God, please God, just get me off this bus. And luckily, our stop was like the next stop. I was like, good, get me off this dang bus. I don't care about none of these people. Go about minding my own business. So anyhow, so that happened today. Who knows what's gonna happen on the bus tomorrow? And it's like, it's like funny, but sometimes it's scary too, because like I said, I mean, someone did leave a syringe on the bus, and so you got to worry. What if you go, like I said, put your hand on a seat, and it's not just like a piece of bubble gum. It could be a syringe or a knife. I mean, you just never know. You never know, or you've seen that instant, or you might have seen an instance on the New York subway. The guy was going crazy and like threatening people. I mean, you see stuff like that on the city bus too, and it's like, you know. And then I'm gonna tell you what's one of the most surprising things. Sometimes you see little kids get on the bus by themselves. I'm talking about, there was one time, there was these two kids, I guess they're brother and sister, but they were like maybe 7, 8 years old. They got the little backpacks and they got the little glasses on, 7, 8 years old, and they got on the bus by themselves. No parents, no older brother or sister or nothing, just by themselves. And I'm like, what the heck parent is allowing their little kids to get on this crazy ass city bus by themselves? I'm a grown ass man and I don't even like getting on the city bus, you know? Let alone a little kid. It's like, man, that's not a safe place for a little kid. So yeah, you just never know what you're gonna see on the city bus, and I hate it. I don't like it, you know. Sometimes I prefer to walk instead of taking the bus. If it's short enough, I'm like, you know, I'll just walk. And then I'm just dealing with myself. I don't have to deal with none of the crazy. And then sometimes the craziness comes from the bus driver. Sometimes the bus drivers have attitudes for whatever, you know, whatever they got going on. So don't just think it's the riders either. Sometimes the bus drivers are crazy, or they're assholes, or, you know, or whatever, you know, whatever their deal is. I don't even know what to say. I couldn't believe it. Like I said, she was swinging her hair all around and doing, like, puffing it up, and I was thinking to myself, before she said anything, I'm like, who's she trying to, what's she doing? I thought maybe she was just, like, I don't know, in a zone to herself, and she was just feeling it or whatever. She was just, you know, just enjoying herself on the bus, whatever. But like I said, those little boys, they looked over for a second, not even a second. She was like, oh. Craziness. Anyhow, so that's what's going on. That's what happened today. Yep. So that's gonna be the video. That would be the video for today. I thought that was. I mean, it's funny, but it's not, because obviously, I mean, it's a grown lady hitting on little kids, and not to mention these kids being little badasses, and it's just like, you just like, oh man, society is really messed up. Anyway, so that's what's going on. Anyhow, thank you for watching. As always, if anyone would like to support the channel, there's a PayPal link and a GoFundMe link on my channel page. Everything is appreciated. And also, as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.